Last time on the wilds of Valandiir, the Crown Collectors, on mission to return their friend Maven into the fold, first had to obtain the Rod of Planar Shift to travel to the hellish realm from which she disappeared many months ago. After meeting with the Emperor and the Prince and explaining the situation and being given permission to visit the court wizard who is currently in possession of the rod, you bumped into a few people along the way. A former colleague of yours, a former party member, Daunt, the shape-shifting warlock, had run into you on the streets of the capital. And once in the castle, you should say that upon meeting him, agreed to meet at a tavern after hours to reconnect and reminisce. Once in the castle to meet the Emperor, bumped into the Princess Cynthia, an old flame of his, and the two seemed eager to reunite for dinner over the next day or two. But straight to business, you went to the wizard's tower, Xander Fang, and found that his top floor sanctum was occupied by a horrid Otyug. And after doing a little bit of battle, nearly destroying the creature, you found out quickly that this was some kind of pet of the court wizard, as he interrupted you all from slaying his little friend, and you took some time to explain the situation. He then presented the Rod of Planar Shift for use, but you decided I might need a couple of days to gather my stuff and get myself together before moving on to this momentous undertaking. So you bid him farewell, promised to return soon, and departed the tower. Over the next few days, some things happened. You all got your gear in order. Kravish purchased and picked up his newly minted mithril armor, adorned in musical notes and sigils of his deeds. And the rest of you outfitted yourselves accordingly for the journey ahead, some of you gaining some magic items. And at the magic item shop, you decided to do a little bit of research. You spoke to the purveyor, the Professor Leviticus Darvango, a steaming half-orc. However, you all realized, after talking to the court wizard, that your shared visions of this ominous, red-eyed entity of cosmic proportions was somehow tied to an image or a symbol carved on its acolytes. The only thing that you were able to glean was that this symbol was known through the old languages, and perhaps only a tiefling would be able to direct you to how to find it and decipher it and gather its meaning. Well, Reaper, being that she has true devil sight, was able to see right through Professor Darvango's illusion. And realizing that he was a tiefling, you were able to find that, through questioning him, the tiefling town of Anorak was your destination to seek your answers. And so, after getting your information and deciding on a few side trips, we're going to revisit some of those side trips in those couple of days before returning to the tower. So the question is what do you guys want to tackle first? Do you want to tackle your meetup with Daunt and at the, I believe it was the Golden Stag or something to that effect, the swanky tavern in town, or did you wish to head to the castle to have dinner with Princess Cynthia at her request?
Royalty trumps scoundrel.
Fair statement.
That's my vote.
Okay. Well, I will say that night, as she did invite you all to dinner, eager to see Yuno again. The first evening comes to a close as you make your way into the castle Narthex. You are greeted by the castle guard. They know who you are. They've been informed. And so you make your way to the East Wing Apartments. You are brought into a room within this large inner castle apartment. It's adorned in gold trim on the ceilings, on the walls, paintings of royalty. interspersed between elaborate candelabras. Guards stationed every 10 feet, full armor, holding pikes, standing at attention. And as you brush past a set of guards straddling a doorway, you're greeted to a dining area where there's already a few people sitting at tables. You know, you're first or second through the door, and as you enter the room, you see a couple of familiar faces. No one that any of you else know, but nobility that you've been in certain circles around before. You don't particularly remember anyone's name until you hear an explosion of emotion to your right. You know! You turn and you see this young lady. She dances across the floor and embraces, throws herself around, her arms around your shoulders. You know, you're not used to being hugged this way. However, your memories of your time as a child in the same circles as Princess Cynthia, as well as the smell of her perfume, rush into your head, and you can't help but find yourself gently embracing her back. She pulls away and looks at you all. Welcome, welcome. Please sit. And as she kind of directs the staff on where to place everyone, she does a good job of kind of placing you all together with Yuno at the head of the table next to her, and Princess Cynthia seated at the head of her own table. I've just had the chef prepare duck à l'orange. I know that when we were children, you used to like it. And so I'm just so happy that you're here, Yuno. Please sit, all of you. And you see the house staff. They're dressed in cotton linen clothing and frills with these kind of head wraps, and they're all wearing kind of towels over one arm. They pull each and every one of your chairs out. Baranor and Iona, and to a lesser degree Reaper. This all feels very unfamiliar and a little, not uncomfortable, but just out of your element. Koza, you too, but you've come to sort of understand and respect the way that Yuno is received and the benefits that come therein. You're all kind of served a hot towel on a plate. Some of you don't exactly know what to do with it.
I take right to it and pat my head with it and just kind of wash my hands with it.
You're served a very deep rouge wine in a large pewter goblet. It flows with a fruity, wine smell that just kind of fills everyone's nose with that elegant decadence that most of you don't really recognize, as, your choice of wine on the road is rather limited and usually cheap. So, you're going to introduce me to your friends?
I'd rather let them introduce themselves, and I'll kind of nod at Kravish.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I am Argenturoth Kravish, unofficial spokesperson for this merry band of various and sundry people.
She giggles a little.
And I'll go through and introduce everyone individually, since we're pretty much a big ball of introverts.
She kind of nods her head at each of your introductions, and she kind of looks like, I'll say this. Let's have everybody except sorry, bud. Everybody make a perception check, and then I want an insight.
Okay. My passive perception. Can we use a passive perception, or do you want an active one? Because my passive is 22.
Your passive is a little hindered. It's dark in here, and you're very quickly being served wine. Let's just have a roll. If it's
Fair
less
enough.
than your passive, we'll keep the passive. But
24.
All right. Everyone sees really well tonight.
14 insight.
Oh boy, Reaper. It's
deep in the
too
cup.
fancy in here. Yeah, it's too fancy, and the wine is too good.
She was like, I'm gonna go home.
Mm-hmm. And let's have, who are we missing? Are we missing anybody? Let's have insight from Reaper too. So and from Koza. So as you guys kind of sit here enjoying your wine, they bring out a plate of cheeses and crackers, typical charcuterie board regalia. And, in picking their finger foods, Reaper, I mean, it's you're not a big fan of sitting in dimly lit dining halls. And, the fact that you don't know hardly anybody in here except for your companions who, let's face it, you barely really know them either. You've just fought together for a while. It's making you uneasy. And you can all kind of see Reaper sort of picking at her wine glass and whether she chooses to chug it or not, it definitely seems to be affecting her more than others. But what you all notice is Cynthia sort of looking at all of you and not really studying you, but kind of looking at your jewelry, your clothing, your headdresses, your hairstyles, and you can see that she's sort of looking at them, looking at all of you, while also every time she looks at one of you, she also glances back at and you're kind of just keeping an eye on the room while also stealing glances from Princess Cynthia. And it's not long before the main course is served that Cynthia, who, by the way, has several people to her left across the table from you all, they're kind of chatting with each other, making small talk, asking you all questions about, what brings you to the capital. And Princess Cynthia sort of taps her glass and raises it and stands, and everyone kind of goes quiet. I'd like to make a toast. These fine adventurers, the Crown Collectors, my friend have recently restored order and peace to the Needle Outpost to the east, expanding once again the borders of the Zephan Empire. It was through their actions that we were able to keep this territory within the fold of the Empire. And it is by their actions that the Imperial Seal is even more solidly based in the land that it rules. To the Crown Collectors, to my friend and to the Needle. And everyone raises their glass. They're very polite. They're not raucous. They don't shout. They kind of acknowledge you all, give you all rather deep head nods, and everyone takes a sip of their wine. And a rather robust bearded gentleman sitting across from Kurvish just sort of lays down he's not holding a wine glass, he's got a tankard. He's well dressed, he's adorned in gold necklaces and chains, but his hands are rough. His nose is fat and round, and his beard is slightly unkempt. He's got kind of brushed back brown hair, and you notice with his wide body type, he's actually sort of sitting on a stool so that he's at the same level as everyone else. You can tell he is a dwarf. His big brown eyes kind of scan Kurvish as he downs a whole tankard of wine and kind of slams it on the table, demanding another. So, Master Kurvish, from where do you hail?
I hail from the northern areas. A city called, well, we don't talk much about it. Let me check that. I come from the northern mountains.
The northern mountains? Well, tough living amongst the mountains for someone as so well adorned as yourself. And there's a little bit of banter and chortling.
Yeah, well, despite some of the environmental hardships, our people found a way to survive and thrive.
And you hear to his right, or to his left, a couple of seats down, don't let him give you any chuff or guff. This one's from Darrow. His family, well, let's just say, dominated the mining up there, and Bulgruff is definitely one who enjoys the better life as a result. And there's a kind of a blonde-haired male elf sitting at the table who just kind of gives Mulgruff a side eye, and you see the dwarf look over at him. You keep your elven trap shut. I'm allowed to flaunt my wealth just as anyone else here. And, there's a little bit of chortling between them. Baranor, as you sit and sip your wine, you notice that with your passive perception, which is pretty considerable.
Yep.
You do notice that the dwarf is wearing a ring, and it's a ring you've seen before. It's pretty elaborate. It's got kind of a gold setting with a twisted claw that's grasping a ruby. And you recognize it as someone that or organization that you've encountered in the past as part of the syndicate, and that is of the Fiery Claw. And this is a cabal of magic users that really, really love the idea of kind of domination and fiery manipulation of the populace. This is a very kind of unusual ring to be wearing out in the open. None of the rest of you, except for maybe Reaper, although you've kind of you're not real studious, and you've definitely never come across one of these people before.
I'm also not paying attention to him, so.
Right.
I'm just over here, deer in the headlights. Okay, I'm just gonna drink my wine and shut the fuck up.
Okay, you said the Fiery Claw?
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of I wouldn't call it a thieves guild. It's more of it's not like the syndicate is a thieves guild, but it is a criminal organization. But they're much more like manipulative. They don't really send people out to steal anything. It's more of a traffic. Yeah, they traffic in information, and they're hostile to. I mean, the Fiery Claw is a very. They do like to use fire magic, but you know that they've in recent times been much more behind the scenes. The elf that he's arguing with, however, is wearing a pendant that none of you except Koza would recognize. It is a kind of an offshoot of Sylvanus that is much more of a kind of an elven magical religion. And that is the reason that you notice it is it looks very similar to the Moonweaver in that it has a silver moon, and that is the moon of Corlon. And again, most of you, if you knew what this was, wouldn't really think to see someone wearing a religious icon in the heart of the Empire like this. That's not really approved on, it's definitely not one of the traitor gods, but it's not well received to wear stuff like this. So it seems like these people may have, based on what you guys are seeing, some leeway when it comes to the strictness of these restrictions. So, what brings you to the capital and with all of your friends in tow?
We came to petition your father for the use of one of the magical items that we found to help rescue one of our friends.
Rescue? Really? Where have they been captured from?
They're in one of the hells.
And the whole table kind of goes a little silent for a moment. And and Malgruff kind of, he's got, at this point you guys have been served dinner, and instead of eating with his utensils, Malgruff is kind of eating the duck leg by the drumstick. And he just kind of looks up at you mid-chew. Sorry, lad, did you say the hells is where you're off to?
He did indeed.
Right. The elven gentleman just kind of perks up. He's got a couple of green leaves impaled on his fork, and he's about to take a bite when he just says, "That's dangerous business, visiting the hells. What did your friend do to get wrapped up in that mess?"
She saved us.
She saved all our lives.
Indeed. Well, chasing after someone lost in the hells is certainly a noble effort. And Princess Cynthia just sort of leans forward. Well, one would only expect such heroism in anyone within Yuno's company. Well, how do you plan to find this person? I mean, the hells from what I've read, and I'd read a bit, the hells are several layers deep. Do you even know which one to go to?
Well, we figured we'd kind of just start at the top and work our way down.
Well, I would certainly try to be a little more specific when choosing somewhere to go. From what I've heard, the hells are, well, the worst environment imaginable.
My guess is we'll go to the Hells, and wherever the most ass-kicking is where Maven is.
The blonde elf kind of perks up a little. I'm sorry. Who is it you said you're saving?
Maven?
Maven. Sounds a bit familiar. What, if I may ask, does this person look like?
I'm gonna defer to Krish on this one.
I will use minor illusion to cast a replica of her.
Just like her bust, or like a little tiny action figure?
Kind of her bust.
It's doing like a holographic rotation in the middle of the table.
Yeah, pretty much, like the Death Star plans.
Yeah. Well, this gentleman just sort of straightens up and says, I must say, she does look strangely familiar. Different, but what is her family name, if I might ask?
Oh, God, you have to ask me. I would know it in character, but I can't remember in person.
Well, I want Karish to make a history check.
Oh,
Let's see if Karish remembers.
Of the Southern Isles.
Oh, I can't find her letter. Use that letter. Oh, yeah, okay. Rothnell.
The elf just sort of takes a moment after you read the name, kind of looks down at his plate, picks up a few more leaves with his fork, chews them, doesn't say much, and just says, interesting. Well, I certainly hope you find this Maven, Rothnell. She definitely looks to be kin of the Denisian elven people. And you can see that he's not covering his head. He's got pointy ears just like hers, blonde hair just like hers, blue eyes just like hers. He doesn't look like her. He's got, just a different kind of face than hers. You wouldn't be forgiven for thinking that he was related in any way. But definitely similar features. And you can go ahead and roll insight on him.
Okay. Passive's a 22, but I'll roll a 19, so whichever one you want to take.
Yeah, I'll take your pass. I mean, you're definitely trained in on him. I mean, you clocked him as soon as you sat down as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed elf, which, as everyone knows, is somewhat rare in the Empire. And through your travels and learning things, you've, with Maven at her various Pelorian temples, have learned that she was adopted by this temple. So she's not actually from here. She's from the south, which is where most of these types of elves, Denisian elves, from the realm of Soldanus, which is just an elven continent beneath Valandiir. And this guy looks like he could be part of that race.
Okay.
And he definitely seemed interested in her last name and what she looked like.
Mm-hmm.
He's not exactly explaining why.
Yeah, I understand. It's like I sense a look of remembrance or familiarity.
Ah, yes. Well, to lay eyes on kin after so long is a rare treat. I definitely do hope you find her. When you do, hold her close. A Denisian has no business in the Hells, friend.
Do you mean, when you say kin, are you meaning in like the general, we're all Denisian kin? Or does this look like somebody that, you may have had over for, Yule night?
Well, I don't claim to have any Rothnells in my circle of friends, but the name is familiar to Soldanus. It's quite ominous to hear it after so long. It's not a name you hear very often, especially here, but even from where I resided previous to living here. How did you come to know her?
Our paths crossed in the in the Temple of Pelor some time ago. And I will relay how her help was instrumental in defeating whatever that demon's name was, Blaylock or Moloch or whatever the hell it was. They all run together after a while.
Balak.
Yeah.
Balake.
Yeah, Aaron.
Like Balak was the villain in Indiana Jones, wasn't he?
Blaylock, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was spelled different.
Yeah. Homonym.
Princess Cynthia at this point has scooted her chair closer to Yuno and kind of coiled her arm under his and listening to you all speak, of course. But you just notice that as the night goes on, her head starts to lean a little closer to his, to the point where eventually she's just kind of side by side with him. Well, what are your plans for finding this maven? You will take care to be cautious. I dread the thought that something would happen to you while in another plane of existence.
Oh, sure. While I do not say this lightly, it's not anything we haven't been through before.
Really? What does that mean?
And I'll briefly regale the tale of how we had to spend some time in a fire plane.
Goodness, you have such storied histories. I dare say adventurers like yours are a rare breed. We're lucky to have you within the Empire. And the dwarf kind of leans forward and flicks Pravish right on the shoulder where your knight's badge is. And all of you pinned, I see.
A very generous thank you from the Empire for our service in reclaiming the needle.
Ah, that swampy wastelands back in the fold, eh? Tell me, what was it like slaying the cult? I heard the walking rot made quite a bit of trouble out east.
Well, if you all will permit me, I think the tale will go much better with a song. So, with Her Highness's permission.
Oh, she jumps up, clapping her hands. Yes.
Okay.
Please, regale us, Bard. Regale us.
All right, well, I'll tune my fancy new mandolin and start at it. Start giving an epic, adventurous tale of how we came to the needle, how Iona came to our acquaintance, how we were able to get past our initial mistrust of each other, and, all that hero shit.
Yeah. Well, do you have a passive performance?
I do not.
Well, let's get a roll then.
31.
Yeah. You just kind of like, as she asks you to regale you, you just sort of, like muscle memory, reach over behind your head and grab your mandolin strapped to your back and just sort of sling it, right into place. And with a little strum and cracking of the knuckles into a song you go. Everyone seems rather impressed with the story of the crown collectors. The one not so impressed would be the dwarf, but he seems like he doesn't give out praise that freely.
I have a question.
Sure.
Does Kravish mention that Ara is Iona's aunt? Because Iona is watching him like a hawk as soon as he says he's going to sing the entire story.
I will leave that part out.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, from the moment we've sat down to dinner, Iona has been looking to see if anyone recognizes her surname because she has no idea. It's because House Aegis is technically nobility, but it's like lowest possible rung of nobility, like absolutely at the bottom, just barely making it. And she's got no idea if she even counts because she doesn't know if the only member of House Aegis to actually live in the Empire is even said that she exists to anyone within the Empire at all. So she's just been sort of watching for that. And also watching out to find out if Karish is going to talk about family matters, but luckily he hasn't.
Yeah, your 22 insight showed that pretty much everyone at the table that's near you, maybe like 3 or 4 people on either side of you, they kind of give you a second glance, but it's more they don't really react to you being introduced as Iona, but they do seem intrigued by your appearance. A pale lavender, part drow, part elf, is somewhat rare. Although they come in all colors around here. This is the capital after all, and you guys have never felt, as weird as you guys are as a group, you've never felt more at home in a capital city like this, because there is a plethora of races and species walking the streets to where you don't feel like you walk into an establishment, everyone's going to, record scratch, turn and look at all of you, because you're not that unique as far as being a different kind of people all over. But you did notice that those around you, they seem to be very polite to you, giving you a courtesy nod and receiving you. But yeah, you don't really feel like anyone recognizes you or recognizes you by name.
I mean, that's in a way almost reassuring for her, because that could go very awkwardly. She has no idea if her father joining the Talontar caused any kind of scandal or if anyone even knows. So that's probably for the best for now.
Yeah, and as you make that observation, you hear in your head a message from your brother somewhere in the city. Sister, you'll never guess where I am right now. I've really made it. It's the bougiest place to eat. It's the Golden Stag, where that gentleman invited us earlier. There's nothing but royalty around here. And as you kind of, that message sort of sinks in, you look around. Do you respond in any way?
I mean, the thing is, I know that I'm not worried about my brother in this situation, and I probably told him where I was going in advance. So, to be honest, I couldn't include him in this invitation. He knows that I couldn't include him in this invitation, so I'm just glad that he's having fun. So I will jokingly tell him to behave himself, knowing that what I actually mean is, I know you're only going to start the sort of trouble that you could get yourself out of. So I'm trusting you to just have a good time. God knows you've earned it. So yeah, I tell him to behave himself. Nudge, wink.
You feel the message is received. He doesn't send another, but the night kind of goes on in such fashion. Princess Cynthia, looking dreamy-eyed into Yuno's eyes, doing your best to not appear like you saw this coming, or, it's nice to be around the upper crusty of the Empire. Not necessarily that you need that in your life, but it sure beats sleeping in a swamp and conversing with toads and cultists. But the evening eventually comes to a close. Princess Cynthia actually falls asleep on Yuno's shoulder for a little while as Kravish serenades the evening for the second or third time. The housing staff clears the dinner service. Princess Cynthia just sort of gives this deep yawn and just kind of leans forward on Yuno, wrapping her arms around his neck. She plants a deep kiss on his cheek and replaces her kiss with her hand on his face. It was wonderful to see you. You should make yourself not such a stranger. I know your first love is always going to be straying out into the wilds and finding magical loot and whatnot, but don't be a stranger. We miss you. I miss you. I want us to see more of each other, so do make time. And of course, bring your friends. The crown collectors are always welcome, Alice. And Princess Cynthia is going to just sort of grab your hand and just sort of give it a little squeeze. And she's going to palm you a message. It's just a little...
I'm going to kind of just shove it into my robes for now.
Okay. Just give me a sleight of hand, just to see if you can do it without anyone seeing. She passed her sleight of hand to palm it to you.
That's going to be a 23.
Ooh, yeah, no problem. No problem at all. It's a small little square of parchment about the size of a stamp. Pretty easy to sort of slip in between the folds of your robes on your sleeve. And, for a few minutes until you get a chance to sort of pocket it properly, you're kind of, holding your arm or your wrist a little weird to keep pressure on where it's hidden. She kind of splits off from but still holding your hands by the wrist and then by the palm, and she slips to where it's just your fingertips grasping each other, and then you part ways. She gives you one last dreamy look, a little wave, waves you all good night, and saunters away into a side hall, followed by 5 or 6 ladies in waiting and housing staff behind her. The blonde elf, as everyone at the table starts to, one by one, sort of bid the group good night and make their way to different parts of the castle, as this room has many ways out of it. The blonde Elvin, the Denisian elf, rises to his feet, his fingertips still on the table, and just says, "Well, Crown Collectors, it's been a pleasure meeting you all." And,
likewise. Although I do apologize, we didn't catch your name.
"Oh, my name is Elion." And he just sort of places his hand on his chest. "Ambassador to Soldanus, at your service. It really was nice to meet all of you, and I truly do wish you luck on your endeavor to find your friend Maven. Do visit us at the Ambassadorial Tower. If you do bring her back, I would love to meet her myself and express my condolences that she had to endure the hells for so long. Good night to you all." And he's going to sashay his way past the dwarf. The dwarf, by the way, is asleep with his meal pasted to his face as he is face down on his plate, snoring quite loudly.
He's just there sawing logs and like, well, and we'll all head out then. And then as soon as we're out of earshot from the guards, we'll be spending the entire time being mercilessly teased and peppered with questions about what the hell, man. I'm assuming from every last one of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even Iona is looking at Yuno and saying something on the lines of, "When the daughter of a high priest of Brain was trying to honey trap my brother away from Talona, even she was more subtle than that."
Yeah.
I don't know what any of you are talking about.
I've seen siege engines more subtle, okay?
Yeah, hot under the collar. Release a little steam. But it was a nice, pleasant interaction. It's been a long time since you got to spend any time with her, at least a few years. And it's good to see her in good spirits. And she definitely seems to not have lost any feelings for you that she had when you were younger. Does anyone wish to do anything in the castle? You are definitely given an escort to, by royal guard to anyone who wishes to remain in the castle, or you could be escorted back out again at your leisure.
I don't think I have anything particular. What time of the evening is it? Is it like late?
Yeah, it's like 7, 8. It's not late,
Nah.
but it's definitely late evening.
Late evening?
Yeah, we'll say like 8 or 9.
All right. I know we've all had a good meal and everything, but you guys want to hit up the Golden Stag? See if we can see Daunt there?
I'm in.
Sure, why not? I barely know.
All right.
You guys doing better than I did.
Yuno's going to head back to the rooms where we were staying. Yuno's going to head back to the rooms where we were staying and kind of read his note on his own away from you jackasses.
Good idea.
So he can have some alone time with his note from his honeybee.
All right. Ken, I'm going to send you a little message. Where are you? There you are. Well,
It's just
as I write
that says, "Do you like me?" with 2 boxes on it.
Yes, no.
You want to go steady?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, will you be my boyfriend? She's definitely the same age as and you all know him to be in his what is in his mid-20s, maybe late 20s, Ken?
Yeah, mid-20s.
Yeah. So they're kids for the most part. Well, let's see here. I don't believe any of you have been to the Golden Stag. It is not somewhere difficult to find, but let's just you guys have had some wine. Let's get a perception check, just because getting turned around when you're little 3 sheets on wine is rather easy.
Please let this be the best last.
That die is cocked. I'm serious. It was cocked between 13 and 5. Wish I got it.
Mine becomes a 23, so.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Baranor perhaps not partaking too much in the wine as everyone else. So finding,
I'm just following everybody else. I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be out of the castle. She don't like it.
Yeah.
It was so uncomfortable.
Well, the Golden Stag is, you guys, it takes a while to walk from the front gate of the castle to the stag, as the stag is in sort of the market district, but it's in the kind of the hoity-toity part of town. There is a large fountain in the square just in front of the Golden Stag, where there is a jets of water shooting every which way, and a huge golden horse statue with its legs rearing. And there's a similar, smaller statue over the doorway of this establishment. There's kind of like a hotel-like vestibule, and there's a golden horse statue on top of that vestibule. And it's loud, it's boisterous. It doesn't seem like raucous. There's not fights left and right or people throwing glasses, but there is a riotous music and cacophonous atmosphere as you enter this establishment. There are tables aplenty. There are people sharing beverages and digging into turkey legs. There is a barmaid that kind of whisks her way right in front of you as you enter. I'll get with you just in a minute, love. And she places 3 large flagons of ale in front of what looks like a pair of dwarves with sort of a burly human between them. You know, they grab they grab the flagons, they tap them on the table, hey, and they start drinking. All right, how many of there are you?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2. And as she kind of looks around the room for an empty table, that's when you see a gentleman sort of wave your way. You see this guy again. And he's sitting at the end of a rather long table, and there are a few people at the end of this table that don't look like they're kind of with him. He's sitting with a couple other fellas, and he just kind of raises his hand. Oi, Gravish! Come on, man!
All right. Yeah, I'll just send the barmaid. I was like, yeah, we're with that guy. We're meeting him.
Right, I'll bring back around for you in just a moment. And she kind of like spins around and disappears into the crowd. There is a rather lively band on the stage. It looks like a kind of a blue-skinned orc that has this long black hair, who she's kind of spindling away on a rather elaborate harp. Next to her, with sort of a wand at her, sort of like she's holding a microphone with this wand, is another female. She's kind of got a billowing effect to her hair, which is a deep crimson red. And it's just sort of, there's an unnatural wind sort of billowing her hair a little bit. It's not up in the air or anything. And she's kind of got like an orange-like skin. She's got fiery, glowing yellow eyes. There are 2 halflings that look like they're tag teaming a drum set behind her. And there is what looks like a very squat dwarven woman who is manipulating some kind of a stringed instrument on a stool. And they're just they're rocking out. It's kind of an upbeat but powerful kind of a ballad, speaking in a language that those of you who speak, I don't think, you know what? I know none of you speak Genasi. So she's belting out a tune that none of you understand unless you cast a spell. But it's a pretty cool tune. It seems to be getting everybody up on the dance floor. Those on the periphery are tapping their feet while drinking their ale and eating their turkey legs. And you kind of round this corner to sit at this table. You see your colleague Daunt. He stands up instantly and just dives over at Kravish, wraps his arms around you. He's got the smell of the road on him. He's definitely not freshly showered, but, you know, you've smelled that way before, too, so it's not too offensive to you. And he just kind of pats you on the back, and he goes over to Yuno and shoves his hand into Yuno's hand. Or no, Yuno's not here. He shoves his hand into Baranor's hand, and he's like, well, Koza, it's good to see you, too. And he just kind of walks up to Koza and he jumps into your lap. And, you know, you're kind of giving him this big, giant Chewbacca hug. And he just kind of says, sit, please. Let's get some rounds of ale for my friend here. And his golden eyes are the first thing that kind of remind you, like, oh, yeah, like how, you're kind of curious how he's been, and he looks great. You do know he's a changeling, so that might not be difficult for him to pull off. But he looks very similar to the way he was when you guys were tooling around Brackenshire and before you came to Dane. He's like, sit, please. Let us reminisce. Let us swap stories. And he's like, so what? Tell me, saw you in the streets, Leia. What brings you to Haven's Crest?
Oh, just an audience with royalty.
Come on, man. My friend Gravish always busting chops. Tell me, man, what really brings you to the capital?
No, we really did have an audience with royalty. That whole
really.
Yeah, that whole, saving the needle sort of thing.
No, you, that was you?
Yeah, we've moved up.
I can see. I mean, you definitely made a name for yourselves with the way you took out that dragon. From what I've heard, it was quite an ordeal. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you.
Yeah, what happened, man? You just kind of bailed in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it was a dark time, as you could understand. It was reckoning. Yes. Well, enough about me. Tell me of your new companions. It's and he kind of looks around and he's like, "Where's Axton? Where's Artgear? Where are those chaps at?"
So we'll take a few moments to briefly fill him in on how, what happened with Atgear with his family, and, over time how he eventually, kind of got cleaned up a bit and decided to go home to help out his family and his clan. Then we'll talk about how Axton actually came in contact with some of his legitimate family, remembering that he is, from a couple of 100 years ago, and how over time and a couple of misadventures and adventures, he decided that he was going to quit the adventuring life, at least with us, to try to develop a new relationship and a new venture with his family.
Well, I certainly wish him good luck, as with Atgear. I love that little chap, scamp that he was.
He was a hoot.
Yeah, I've been busy too. You can see, got a new set of new party of my own. And he looks over, and that's about the time that you really get a good look at his companions. They got their arms crossed in front of them, cradling tankards of ale, hoods up. A little difficult to see their face, although they're not trying to shroud their entire head in shade. One's definitely either human or half-elf or maybe elven. The other one is what looks like has kind of a rocky skin tone. And the closest thing that you've ever seen to this would be Giovanni, and the rockiness to his skin, the sandstone nature. Although this is much more of a gray tone with little veins of black, almost like marble, that kind of striate through his face. And they just kind of nod their head and raise their tankard a little. Don't really say much. And Daunt just kind of looks at them and just goes, "Yeah, I don't hang out with them for the conversation. I'm in town for a bit of business myself. Yeah. I'm at the capital too on business. Not exactly as prestigious as yours, but, well, we all have to make our own way, yeah?"
What kind of business?
Antiquities. It's definitely not as... as lucrative as it was when I hung out with Una, but, it pays coin. It gets the bills in the black, and puts a little bit in walking around money in my pouches.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So now that you've had an audience with the royalty, what's your plan moving forward, man? I mean, after our business is concluded in the capital, it's our kind of schedule is wide open for a little while. Maybe I don't know. We could throw in a little bit and find similar work. Not trying to rain on your parade, and I know that you've got 1, 2, 3. Boy, 5 others in your party. Where's Uno, by the way? Where is he?
Oh, he decided to turn in early. We had a previous engagement that kind of just kind of wore him out a bit. So he's decided to retire early.
So you did not shed him from the party like the others in your group, eh?
No, he's still here. That rapscallion he is.
Well, sounds like fun. What's next for you?
Well, we got upcoming kind of search and rescue mission coming up to rescue a companion.
Really? Yeah. Well, what's that entail?
It just involves a quick little trip to the land down under.
I'm gonna have him roll insight on you. So what the hell that means? Pretty good. The land down under. You mean the Underdark?
Oh, under that.
Yeah, you see him like do a hard swallow, and he says, "You don't mean another plane of existence, do you?"
I look over toward the others to say it's like, to kind of get a go ahead or not.
I give a nonchalant shrug.
Whatever. Like, yeah. One of our former companions made a very big sacrifice for us to help save all of our lives and the lives of many others. And so we figure the least we can do is, go to hell and back to get them.
Yeah, he spits out half a mouthful of ale. Literally. Did you say health?
I did.
And you see him, even though he's had a few beverages at this point, you see him kind of put two and two together, and he kind of looks at Kravish and looks at Koza, being that you guys are the ones he knows. Wait, you're trying to get there using that rod we found, aren't you?
Yep. Can't put anything over on you, can we?
If I remember, dastardly prince, and he's got his shoulders low and his head low, like he's trying to keep this under wraps. As he looks around, he's like, that Prince Victor stole the road out from under our noses, especially humiliated him. I think it's perfectly fitting that you use this rod and with the blessing of the Emperor to go and find your friend. Sounds like a job for you.
Yes, it's like, fate coming full circle and all that with regards to, and that other guy.
Yeah, well, it's quite a story, lads. I wish you the very best of luck. Although, something tells me you don't need luck. You just need a sharp blade and a bit of magic at your disposal. Yeah?
Yeah, but, hey, a little bit of luck never hurt. As long as it's good luck.
Good luck. Well, here, listen. Take this. And he pulls out of he's got a little pouch on his hip next to a kind of a short sword, and he pulls out this, it's almost like a black coin, and he just kind of, snaps it into the air with a little ting, and it flips through the air right over to you, Kravish.
Okay. I'll look it over quickly.
Yeah, it's got sort of a script on it that is I can't remember if anybody speaks a primordial.
I do.
You do. Well, you're not really looking at it as it's in Kravish's hand.
Okay.
Kravish, but it's got script written on it in a language you don't recognize. It's got what looks like some kind of a symbol. It definitely doesn't look like infernal or demonic. Nothing, none of those hateful black speech. It just looks like blocky little letters stamped into it with a sort of a symbol. It almost looks like a cross, but it's kind of got like a split top and kind of a spiral at the bottom. It's real weird. And he says, I picked this up off someone who tried to rob me, and it's brought me luck ever since. And hey, you can give it back to me someday. It gives us incentive to see each other again.
Yeah.
Just don't spend it. No one would know what it's worth anyway.
Well, much obliged, Daunt, and you and your merry loquacious band here. May good luck and good fortune find you as well.
Yeah, he kind of raises his glass, and the night kind of. As I said, it was like 8 or 9 when you got in here. You spend a couple of hours. The tavern does not have any kind of inkling that it's going to die down. The band out front on the stage is, hitting the energy hard, and you and Daunt kind of reminisce on individual stories. He tells you about his travels, that after he left the swamps, outside of the Calded Sticks, he made his way west and further west into the Jasperwood. This perks up Baranor's ears, of course. He doesn't mention any places of note that you recognize, but he kind of recalls to you that he got a message from his patron that night, and it compelled him to travel on his own. And he kind of he's a little sorrowful that he left in such a hurry, and he kind of like, as he says that he was compelled to leave, he kind of scratches at his neck a little bit, and you can see these little black veins, and you all knew he was a warlock with a patron. And as he scratches at those little veins that just kind of creep over his inner collar just by like a half an inch, Reaper, this kind of catches your attention, and it reminds you, like, yeah. Sometimes when your patron says jump, you shout how high, or else you get burned.
You just do it. You don't even question it. You just do it.
And he kind of flashes you a look with his golden eyes that kind of glow briefly, and he gives you a look of almost kinship, almost camaraderie, like sucks, doesn't it, kind of a thing.
Just a knowing nod, like, yeah, I get it.
And the night just sort of progresses. He ends up pulling Koza onto the dance floor. To sort of go round and round a few times. A few more rounds of ale are drunk, and for the most part, the five of you are pretty lit, and the night concludes with a slight hangover the next morning. Now, we can go ahead and move to when you return to the Tower of the Wizard, but I would ask any of you, I know that you guys got some magic items before. This would be obviously after you guys have picked up everything that you were searching for. Like last week, we got to you guys retrieving Pravish's mithril armor and talking to Leviticus about this tiefling thing, that this symbol that you guys had found. At some point, you guys started talking about this shared vision you all had, and things of that nature, and this would be sort of at the end of all that. Is there anything anybody would like to do in the capital over the next day or two in anticipation of you making your way back to the tower?
Since Baranor has some kind of working understanding of primordial, I would like to go to the library with him to try to see if we can find some pieces of, old first age, pre-first age history, if any still was around, to try to get a sense on, see if we can find some circumstance around this symbol without having to physically go all the way over to the islands and take up all that time to speak with tieflings there.
Well, the library is very exclusive. And even with your knighthood, it would require a generous amount of financial lubrication to grant you entry. It's not like you get thrown out in the street. You guys aren't nobody. You're well known. You're knights. You have golden seals. That does grant you access. But the library is also very closely guarded by the mages and wizards and scholars of the imperial elite, and thus the staff of the library are so instructed to not just let anyone walk in. So it's going to take a little bit of coin in hand to give you access to the library in the manner in which you seek. It's going to require 500 gold pieces.
You gotta be kidding me. I'm going to try a persuasion to see if I can haggle it down.
Okay. Persuade away.
34.
34. Okay, go ahead and roll a percentage dice. And you can roll that percentage at advantage.
There's a 35 and a 59.
59. Damn. So we're going to say that, with, the way you look and the way you talk, you come across a library attendant who at first is very snooty, but your flowery language and charming ways is able to say, get her down to where she's sort of like reluctantly caves a little and says, very well, but listen, I I can't just let you in for nothing. So why don't we call it $275 and I'll sneak you in.
All right. I'll take that out of some of the party funds there, so I'll pay the $275.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. Well, you and Baranor, garnering many side glances, being that you don't feel a sense of judgment out in town because of the diversity of the capital populace, the library's a little different. And you get very judgmental looks, especially you, Baranor, with the fact that you're just like, you've got like 4 daggers on your hip and, bow on your back. I'm not sure where Luna is. Is Luna somewhere safe? Or is she right next? They're not gonna let the wolf in. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, I would assume Luna's back at like the common room that we have.
Yeah. So
he has 4 daggers that they can see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The other 20 are
the ones for them to find and the ones for them not to find.
Yeah.
Okay, so what specifically are you looking for?
I'm looking for one, starting off with just some general knowledge about, first age, pre-first age history with emphasis on primordials.
Okay, well, go ahead and give me a investigation check, and we'll also have you roll history, and I'll just take the average of the 2 of those and see what we can glean as you're kind of given limited access to the historical archives of the Imperial Library. You are not granted access to the quote-unquote restricted section. It doesn't matter how much money you offer to pay.
All right, so those are... You said an investigation?
Investigation and a history check, please.
Okay, then. So I am going to, first off, cast Enhance Ability.
Okay.
So that way I will have advantage on my intelligence checks.
Okay. What kind of components make that up? Let's see here. Oh, it is visual, semantic, and material.
I could have done it before I even got there.
Yeah, but you didn't, did you?
I didn't call it, so yeah.
All right, so as you start to whip around magic, a nearby mage who has been spying on you all kind of whisks his way up to you. Kindly no further magic within the sanctum, if you please.
Really? Very well.
Yes, really. And he's gonna do that clap of a book closing with one hand and just kind of give you both this very deep, judgmental, glance as he turns but keeps his eye on all of you and then turns away behind a bookshelf. And mind you, these bookshelves are kind of dimly lit, dusty. Doesn't look like it gets a whole lot of attention, maybe by a few people.
Party pooper. All right then. Guess I won't be.
Oh no, he lets that slide. He doesn't counterspell you or anything. He just made it clear. Please, no more magic.
No more. Okay. All right. So I got it up. So I'm going to roll my intelligence checks at advantage.
Okay.
So you said investigation 12. And then you said after investigation, a history, you said?
Yeah.
Am I not helping him with this, or?
Well, he's already got advantage, so it wouldn't matter.
I didn't do that. 20 history.
That's better. Okay. So I'll say that as far as primordialism and the first age, there is not a lot of readily available information.
Okay.
You kind of garner the idea that a lot of that, meat and bones info is probably kept under lock and key.
Okay.
The stuff that's out here that you're able to get to, and it takes you a few hours of sort of pawing through. And Baron, I'll what you're up to in a second. You do find a couple of books that offer sort of some kind of encyclopedic knowledge on the first age. Primordialism is very, very difficult for you to nail down. You found a journal from some explorer that went into a long abandoned first age ruin, and it mentions symbols and iconography that are in there, and he never came to any real conclusions about it, and none of that iconography matches anything that you have seen either on that coin or this symbol that you found on that guy's chest that you've sort of been interested in. Nothing matches up. Only that primordial intelligence is like some of the least explored kind of ancient knowledge, because it was so long ago that not even elves that are alive today were around then. This is all like myth and legend. But when it comes to the First Age, you are able to find some info. And it does a little to illustrate this great war that erupted between gods. And that the First Age was marked with like raw magical arcane power that was so untethered by constraint that just using magic was dangerous for anybody. It's almost like all magic was wild magic, and to the nth degree. There were no schools of magic then. There were no tradecraft with mages that are able to is pretty he's pretty surgical in his ability to use magic. It was much more entropic back then, a lot of chaos, and the gods really were the only ones that wielded this magic. But as far as primordial, there's a little tiny section on the primordial gods that sort of preceded the big names like Bahamut, like Pelor, and some of the Torog, some of the traitor gods. There were these elemental, energetic entities back then. There was an entity known as Abir, who was sort of a shepherd of the rolling landscape, if that makes any sense. And there was, the famed god of creation, Ao, and he's the one who created realm space, and he bound the elements together to form matter, and his spawn, after him, Saruk and Ouroboros, these sort of proto mortal gods that were in charge of sort of fostering the races themselves. Moradin comes from this age. Corellon comes from this age. These are beings that birthed entire races onto the earth, and there's not a whole lot of information that lines up with what you were looking for there. You hear about names like Azathoth. You hear about names like the Ageless One, Lakerkond. These are all ancient entities with very little to be said about them, only that they were venerated by the gods themselves or feared. And Dendar the Night Serpent is a primordial god, and it's famed that he swallowed the sun, and that's how Pelor was birthed, was from that act. And so, very, very old entities, but not a whole lot of information about them. At least nothing that you could really chew on for very long.
Okay.
Baranor, as you're kind of like completely out of your element in an Imperial library, you find yourself entertained by a pair of mice who are following you. You and Kravish. It seems like everywhere you go, they're not terribly far behind, whether they're spying you from a shelf high above your head or skittering between aisles, keeping an eye on you as they go. One brown, one black, and they sound like real mice. You're not getting that they're like muttering to each other in mouse, but it sounds like two people talking. They're just kind of squeak, 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 squeak. But they're kind of staying together and keeping an eye on you. Looks like every time you guys move somewhere else or Kravish grabs a book and sits down, they kind of settle on like a stool that's sort of within view.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And while Kravish embroils himself in the studies that he is, Iona, you reconnect with your brother at some point during this few days to sort of swap news on what's been going on, as well as spend some time together. He's missed you, and it was nice the time that you guys spent together at the Needle after the whole Walking Rot ordeal was over. And he went off on his own for a couple days, but at some point you reconnected with him. He took the gold that he got and bought himself a new set of clothes. They're quite handsome. But they're definitely darker earth tones. He seems to have found an affinity for the color black and kind of a deep purple. So he's wearing kind of a long black cloak over what looks like traveler's clothes that has a little bit of padding on the elbows and the shoulders and around the midsection for a little bit of protection.
Yeah, and, I will say that the morning after we had our dinner with the princess, Iona told Levin absolutely everything down to a description of the dishes, because she knew that he'd want to know so that he can have an opinion on it, even if he doesn't get the chance to deploy that opinion. And there was some light ribbing from Levin that Iona did not flirt even slightly with Elian, but only light ribbing.
Sure. Yeah. He's impressed. When you tell him where you were eating and he tells you where he was eating, he feels a little like maybe he should check himself before he boasts about eating bougie. But the week progresses, and
I have some. Sorry, I don't know if you actually heard me. I have a few things that I'd like to go through before we go to the Tarrant. So yeah, I wrote myself a very short list, very very short. Okay, so. I'm going to buy some rations, but I'm not going to go through that because rations are like standard.
Sure.
I am going to try to identify. Levin has it, but the seal that was carried by Ara, we've been careful not to touch it with our skin.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't have a symbol of the Walking Rot on it, or of Talona, or of anything. But it looked kind of messed up, so we'd like to investigate what that thing does.
Okay.
I'll probably have also talked to Yuna about this because it's a magical item, magical theming item.
So it is magical, and I'll grant you that with some. So Yuno doesn't know where it came from or what it is, only that it is magical. It's necrotic, but it seems faded, not as potent as you'd expect from an enchantment. Very, very, very faint, and let's see here. He is going to be able to use his wand, and with his blessing, of course, he's going to be able to tell you what it does because he has his identification wand. It is an inert sending stone, and the origins of the markings on it are interesting. It's going to take you a little bit of persuading your, going through town and finding out what you can about it. So it's going to take about 25 gold to persuade the gentleman who recognizes what it is.
I mean, yeah, we can pay the 25 gold because under normal circumstances, Levin would probably try to persuade the guy. But the thing is, Levin has grown up with the Talentar where like a +1 to charisma among the Talentar is godlike. But by now, we've realized that a +1 to charisma is actually not all that once you're not with the Talentar. So yeah, we're probably just going to pay the 25 gold to find out what it does. And if there's any kind of horrible curse.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. It's not cursed, thank God. But it is of the abyss. It is a coin trafficked by demons. And the person that you found this, he had to refer you to someone a little shadier than him, who was able to kind of tell you where it came from. He's not going to tell you everything. No, he's not interested in being your friend and your historian. He just kind of looks at it and seems a little spooked that you have it. Doesn't really like being in its presence very often. So what you get out of him is that this is a coin that was traded by members of an ancient cult belonging to Orcus, the great undead prince. As a matter of fact, they point out that the ram skull on the face of the coin is of Orcus, but that there is an inscription under this coin, under the skull, almost purposefully under it instead of over it. And it's just the name, and it's all in Abyssal. The name of Milagrim, which is an entity that I believe you guys have definitely heard of being sort of the patron of the Walking Rot. That he wasn't like a member of the Walking Rot, he was someone that they venerated. And, you know, the fact that Ara had this in her possession just sort of solidifies that she was talking to someone through it. As I said, it's an inert sending stone. The destination is not given as to who it was connected to or where. Just that whoever spoke to her on this was in the gang, so to speak.
Okay, I mean, this may turn out to be useful in terms of, like, if it's something that was traded, then since we're going to the Hells, we may be able to trade it again. So I'm going to sort of, again, I'm definitely wrapping it up so no one has to touch it because it just seems unpleasant. But I'm going to sort of put that with the rest of our sort of carrying around magic items because it's inert and because there's no kind of horrible curse on it or anything. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to make sure that if we need it to trade away, or if we need it to, I don't know, pose as members of the Walking Rot when we're in the Hells, you know, it may be useful. So I'm going to make sure we've got access to that.
So why don't you go ahead and give me a history check?
Okay.
Let's see how well you do. 13 is okay. So I can't give you too much. Only that you're not sure. You do know that within the realm that this is from, the Abyss, there are fiends. You're not exactly sure if they're the same fiends that you find in the Hells. It seems like maybe there's a difference, but they're all fiends, so, you know, maybe it'll work. You know, maybe you can use it as some kind of social currency. It's worth a shot.
It may be, it may not work. It may work. Keep it on the off chance. I'm not expecting it to be any kind of Deus Ex Machina, but okay. The second, then the other thing I'm going to do is I am going to give my brother Ara's sort of her silver ring, which she pulled the sigil of Talona off of, as sort of, so that, I mean, he's going to return to the to see if there's anything left of our Talantar enclave after the Walking Rot, and if there is, it will just help him have a bit more sort of social currency as sort of proving that she's dead, proving that she turned away from Talona, though that's probably, you know, already known, but to really put an underline underneath it. And I'm also going to write a letter in common to give him. I'm not going to set down in words anything about being Talantar, but I'm writing enough that anyone who's within the temple is going to know what we're talking about. Basically, Iona saying that even though she cannot be present with Levin in Dead Marsh as she has pressing business elsewhere, she is putting her authority behind him, and that she expects those who owe us respect to treat her brother as if he has the full authority of both twins in anything that he chooses and does.
Okay. And
yeah, and then, I mean, before we go to the tower, the twins are going to have to say goodbye, and Levin is, I think Iona will ask for a silver travel pass to be given to Levin just so that he can go wherever he wants, because, I mean, the twins have plans. She won't ask for a gold one because she knows how valuable those are, and also because that would stand out more. A gold travel pass means you're someone, a silver travel pass means he'd be less noticed, even if it doesn't mean that there's as many benefits.
Yeah, a pinned Knight of the Wilds carrying her own gold seal can absolutely bestow a silver seal to pretty much anyone she wishes. So, silver seal he has. It's easily done.
Yeah, and then the twins are going to, you know, say goodbye, and Iona is going to she's going to tell her brother that he is not she's going to tell him that she's not going to ask him to promise not to go after her if he suspects that something has gone wrong. If he suspects that someone's hurt her, she won't ask him to promise not to seek vengeance, because she will not ask him to put that sort of restriction on himself, but she is going to tell him that she hopes that among all of the things that he has to do, that he feels he has to do, he can find something in himself to some moments of happiness, and she says actual happiness, not the half measures that we've had to live with so far, just when those moments can be taken.
Sure.
And they still haven't figured out quite how to hug, but they get sort of like 75% of a hug, and it sort of works. And it's not easy to say goodbye, but at least it's something that we've chosen. And then Levin is going to depart to go back to the Enclave, and then Iona is she's going to turn to whichever members of the Crown Collectors are there. I mean, this is probably him just leaving Yuno's house, so it's probably everyone. Yeah. And she's going to tell them it's all about the way you spin it sometimes. And Levin's good at that, because if a member of the Talentar were to gather the remains of an Enclave and end them, that would be treachery, of course, and that would be rejected by the goddess. But if he were to point out that the High Priestess of that Enclave turned against Talona, and the remaining members of that Enclave did not come after her and did not try to kill her, then they would be the traitors and therefore must be eliminated. And it's about as much as she can say to people, to say that Levin is going to go down there to find what is left of the people who lived in our temple, and he is going to kill them. And that's our sort of way out. I mean, Iona is still praying to Talona because she needs power, and she doesn't think that anyone else any other god would really take her, but they are ending that Enclave. Well, Levin is. And then as soon as she does that, now that Levin is fully gone, she immediately puts her hands into her pockets and she starts searching for something in them. This is not someone who thinks their sibling is messing with them. This is someone who knows their sibling is messing with them. Mm-hmm. And she pulls out, it's not a short book. It's not well made enough to be a short book. It's like a long pamphlet. Cheap paper, cheap ink, stitched together in the middle. And on the front is, Levin has clearly slipped this into her pocket when they were doing 75% of a hug. It's an elven wizard. He's wearing old-fashioned robes. He's being, clasped in the arms of a drow woman in old-fashioned armor with a large mace on her back. And in what's clearly is meant to be fancy script, but again, it's very cheap ink, the title reads, "The Wizard's Marriage Season." And Iona just sort of sighs. And she says, "Look, Levin likes good literature. He finds bad literature very amusing. I am not going to read this. Would anyone like it? Does anyone wish to obtain the Elven Smut?"
I don't know. I feel like Kravish would love to read Elven Smut.
Am I still at the library, though?
No, this is probably everyone. This is probably after you came back. If you wish for Elven Smut, you can take it.
Hey, broaden one's horizons and such.
Cool.
Iona just hands it over.
Well, you now have a little smut book. Mm-hmm. Pulp fiction, I think, is what they used to call it. Yeah. And you stand at the base of the tower of the court wizard Xander Fang. You all have your gear packed, your provisions provided, your weapons sharpened, your armor oiled. Standing on the ground floor, you re-enter Xander Fang's tower. You're greeted by the same 6 or 7 nonplussed mages on the ground floor, conducting their little experiments at their desks and tables amongst a library of books that you'll probably never get to read. You are granted access to the top floor, and you are greeted by the large, orange-armored automaton, Ohi. He just sort of towers over you as he opens the door to Xander Fang's inner sanctum and grants you entry. There Xander Fang is behind his desk, poring over a couple of tomes as a mage of his wizenedness would be. He kind of catches sight of you. Ah, the Crown Collectors. You have returned. Greetings. Have you decided to make the journey into the Hells?
We have.
Very good. And he races across his laboratory library where you fought the Autiug. The whole place, by the way, is completely cleaned up. There's no trace whatsoever that there was a scuffle or combat in here. The books that were on the floor have all been picked up. There's no blood. There's no trace of the Autiug either. You feel like you'd probably be able to smell him. Not sure where he went, but he's not here. And he kind of opens this tall, black, cylindrical metal cabinet that he swings the doors open, and inside you see this gold and red metal scepter adorned with diamonds and a large ruby at its crown. And he carefully pulls it down and pulls a tuning fork that you all watched him imbue with the spark that Kravish had been keeping. This remnant of energy from the portal into the Hells that you encountered while in Cobb, as Maven chased Zalric into it and puts that tuning fork at the top of this crown and twists it, and the ruby glows red. And he says, well, this is it. Any last words?
Yes.
Owen is going to turn to the others and ask if we actually have a plan for how we're going to get out of the Hells, or if we're just going to sort of see what's in there when we get there, or if we're going to be able to use the scepter.
Yes, he is going to hand it to Yuno. Yuno is the one who found it. Yuno's rather familiar with it. It does have a number of tuning forks around it, around its neck, and one of them feels like all of them are weirdly different. One of them's wet, one of them's cold, one of them's hot, one of them has like a vibration, electricity to it, but another one is just a rod with just sort of a brown and green sort of coloration, and it feels room temperature. And as you grip it, you recognize this as a material plane attuned fork that you could use on your return trip. No problem. He gestures you all to what looks like a stone archway with just a wall, and he says, please use my portal base. And Ken, I don't know, you said you were AFK. Are you back? I don't know if he's back yet.
Sorry.
There he is. It's okay. Yep, Xander Fang hands you the Rod of Planar Shift. It looks primed. It looks ready. You all seem prepared.
I kind of look around the rest of the group and kind of take a quick peek at everybody's face and see if we're ready to kind of rock and roll.
We're coming, girl. Hang on.
With that, you instinctively point the end of the Rod of Planar Shift towards the provided stone archway, and it fires a beam directed through the tuning fork, which spreads on the wall as if you were pouring water onto a vertical surface. It spreads with this red and orange swirling energy that sparks into a flame fire. You can all feel a blast of heat on your faces. And there you see in the portal archway a hellish visage, a hellscape unlike anything any of you have encountered before. Do you step through the portal archway?
Obviously.
Yes.
One by one, you scale through the portcullis and step onto a hot, rocky environment. There is nothing but flames and dark clouds on the horizon being made of jagged, tall, claw-like mountain ranges. You're not sure if these are towers or if they're natural formations. Welcome to Hell. And that is where we will take a break. So it's 3:59. We'll call that 4 o'clock. We'll take a quick 15 minutes and meet back here for the rest of this hellish session, folks.
Yeah.
Yay! So, yep, we'll be back here in 15. We'll see you.
All right.
You all stand side by side, having filtered in through the portal into this scarred landscape. The sky, a deep maroon red, billows with violent, angry cloud cover. Bolts of red lightning strike the ground in the distance. Too far to hear, but too close nonetheless. The jagged mountain range that stretches from one side of the horizon to the other is laced with skeletal tree-like remains. High towered peaks of rock, perhaps obsidian, jut out from this earth at odd, weird, twisted, broken angles. The searing heat, like the fire realm before this, is excruciating. I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw. Con save good, con save bad, con save bad, con save bad. Okay, I need one from Reaper.
Rolled a 12, however, I do have resistance to fire because of that.
Okay, good to know. So, Reaper, Koza, I'm assuming that 6 is for Luna.
No, the 6 is for Baranor, the 15 is for Luna.
Okay, so... All right, so we got Reaper, we got Koza, Baranor, all of you are going to take 5 points of fire damage, and that's going to be spread out over a long period of time. That's just going to be kind of like, this is what being here, when you're not used to it, you're not acclimated, just kind of really takes it out of you. I mean, you breathe in hot, dry air into your lungs, you cough a few times, the air quality here is laced with smoke and ash. It's surprisingly less pleasant here than it was in the fire realm. The rest of you are going to take 2 points of fire damage as you're able to kind of hack it, and that'll be 1 point, that'll be 2 points for Reaper as you are resistant. It's not pleasant here, but you're kind of able to make do and kind of maybe wrap a cloth around your mouth to keep yourself from breathing in, because every now and then you'll get hit with like a wafting gust of ashy wind and just kind of coat the inside of your throat. You guys all feel thirsty like all the time. The path before you is lined on either side with high cliffed, jagged walls of black rock that sort of change in altitude between 100 feet and 400 feet. And you're kind of you're walking through what looks to be a valley. It seems like it's the only traversable area around here after you descended from you were kind of at a high place when you first got here. You definitely feel like if someone was watching you, it'd be easy to. So I have to ask everyone the same question. Now that you're here, you've been here about 5 minutes, kind of coughing and getting your lungs used to the place. Is there anything anybody wishes to do? As far as your appearance, what do you look like? You don't see any iconography or cultural influences here. It seems very natural for the Hells. So I'll ask everybody, we'll just go down the Discord list. Baranor, what do you look like? What are you doing right now? What is Luna doing? Because all of you look out of place here, for sure.
Well, I'm not sure there's much that I can do to actually look more in place.
Yeah, hood down, hood up.
I mean, you're
a ranger.
My hood would be up.
Okay.
But I mean, that's all I'm really going to do. I am, however, going to take a drink from my bottle of Boundless coffee.
Well, you weren't tired. Your adrenaline is kind of high, but you definitely feel like you're a little more alert, and it's a very nice sweetened bitterness. Kravish, you shiny, giant Oscar trophy, what are you doing?
Oh, well, my armor is actually under my clothes because it's mithril. It's light enough that I can do that. And I have my cloak of many fashions to just form a very...
A very what? You cut out there, bud. You pulled a me, which I've solved that problem, by the way. Kravish. Corey, can anybody hear me? Maybe it's me.
I can hear you.
It's not you.
For dragon.
It's not you.
No, Corey cut out.
Yeah, Corey, you cut out after you pulled a me and you started. You went out as soon as you started to describe. Yeah, we got you.
Okay, it just died midstream. So my armor's underneath my clothing, and I have my coat of many fashions on to kind of extend down almost to the ground with a large cowl over me, and it's a very drab earth tone color. And I have my new Inspecto goggles.
You wearing a hat?
Pardon?
You wearing your cool, fancy feathered hat?
It's in my bag right now. It would go weird with the cowl and everything, so I just have it over my head.
All right. Okie dokie. Iona, how do you look in this environment, and what do you want to do about it?
I mean, this is the hell, and we're going to look kind of out of place no matter what we do, but I'm going to just sort of... I mean, Talona is not really allied with the hells in any way, but I'm hoping that if I can fit in a little more if I sort of lean a bit harder into the whole worshipping an evil goddess thing. So I am taking out my holy symbol so it's no longer sort of hidden. And I'm going to... I mean, because we've been in the capital, Iona's armor, it's glamored, so she can make it look... She's going to make it look a little smarter, but she's actually going to make it look a bit rougher. Just, a bit more hard-bitten, don't mess with me. Something tried to put a dent in my armor, and it's no longer here, but I'm still here type thing.
Right.
Oh, and the brightness level on my armor of gleaming is set down to like negative.
You've turned it into brushed nickel.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Koza, how about you? What does Koza do in this? What does the cheery, happy-go-lucky Koza do in hell?
He is single-handedly concerned with how hot it is and trying to remedy that to no avail.
You emptied your water skin. Yeah.
He's covered in hair. This is awful for him.
Yeah, this is like, for lack of a better word, this is actual hell.
This is the worst.
This is the worst.
Kitchen? Don't we have a couple things that mitigate the heat?
Yeah, you got them.
Yes, you do.
I mean, Maven has one of them. There was another one I thought, but I don't remember what it is.
There was a jeweled necklace, and there was a cloak.
Yeah, we gave that, and I gave that gem to you so that you could
go fight the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's still
someone's got the cloak. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's in the magic items list. Someone's got it. You guys didn't sell it. I would have gotten rid of it. So,
in my list.
Maybe Koza. I think you had it. Do you still have it? You're just not wearing it?
I don't think I have it. I thought I had the cloak of Alma Motion.
Yeah, you have that too. You're kind of a collector of
cloaks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the cloak of fire resistance. Yeah, I'm writing here that Koza had it last. It doesn't require attunement.
Yeah.
And you failed your heat check.
You're trying to find something.
Extremely hot.
Okay, so, all right, so you're wearing that. All right, Reaper. Walking through this landscape is extraordinarily uncomfortable for you. Being the ASMR that you are, it's like the complete opposite of the hells. And it's not like you know that place real well, but your body does and your heart does. And so someone of your race would have a natural problem in this place. And being that you have resistance to fire is just enough to keep you from passing out. Mm-hmm. But being here really sucks. It sucks even worse than it does for the others for you, because as you stepped through this portal, you had this rush of heat just impale every cell in your body like a cajillion little tiny fire daggers. But the problem is that as you recovered initially from it and kind of caught your breath with everybody else, readied your gear, factored in what you thought maybe you want to do about your looks, because you don't look out of place, but you don't really look like you're from here. You felt this weird connection to the heat of this place. The pain that you felt breathing in the air, the soot, the ash, the cinders, is very familiar to you. You've never been here, as far as you can tell. You don't remember crossing the plains in a fugue state, but the pain you feel from the effect here is you just hit like a wave of memories. Every single time this entity that travels with you is angry, this is the pain you feel. You can feel now that you've been walking for a minute, and you can see the whole group. You guys are entering what looks like an overlook of some kind. There's some kind of terrain difference in the distance. And as you kind of emerge, all of you, and you can now see the landscape before you a little better now that you're over it and past this valley of craggy mountains, you see an endless labyrinth of tunnels and passageways, all built from decrepit, crumbling stone. It doesn't seem to be a labyrinth like a maze, but a infinitely compacted series of little neighborhoods of tunnel walls and small structures, all crumbling, all decrepit. And you see in the distance a few larger buildings, and everything is lit with fire at the top. A sweeping breeze of hot air whips across your face like a sandstorm. And Reaper, as you are exposed to this open environment, you can now feel a raspy voice on the back of your neck. He is here, with you, but not with you. It's like you feel that presence again, but he's not with you. Crown collectors, you stand on a precipice. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just joking. I was like, ask him if he brought some lemonade.
And as for what she looks like, she's just going to use Mask of Many Faces to look like a very normal tiefling, red skin, ram horns, just nothing to draw attention.
Okay. You all look and you watch Reaper melt into a devilish shape. A little more feral looking than tieflings that any of you may have encountered or have imagined, but definitely of that race. And her illusionary tail whips behind her body as you guys approach the entrance to this wide, swathing labyrinth of passageways. Crown collectors, you're here on a mission. That mission is at the end of this labyrinth somewhere. What do you all do to accomplish this mission of yours?
All right. So we're basically in a labyrinth trying to get through to the other side.
Ravish, you have the earring, right?
I'm not. No, she took the earring. It got confiscated. Remember, she never got it back. So I have both earrings. They're back at the keep.
Oh, okay.
I could, however, cast. Do I have it? I do. I could cast Sending. To communicate to Maven that, gang's here in the hells to find you at one end of Labyrinth. Where are you at? Yeah.
Hey, boo, where you at?
Yeah. And all I get back is new phone, who dis?
Funny you should say. You don't get a response. And no matter how long you wait, it's just an ocean of silence.
I look over at my goggles and I'm thinking, if we're really trying to get the best chance in terms of investigation, trying to find our way through this labyrinth, probably Yuno has the best chance because he's going to be a lot better at this kind of investigative type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll talk about that, and I'll gesture to Yuno if you would like to use these goggles to help us make our way through this maze. It gives you an advantage on investigation and perception.
I'll take the goggles.
Okay.
Okay.
And Let's head to the left.
You hadn't put them on yet. Yeah, you get advantage on investigation, perception checks. You also get advantage on survival checks if it involves tracking.
Fancy.
Yeah, you sold it to me.
Yes, I did. Well,
I'm going to put them on, and then we're going to the left.
Well, why don't I have you make a survival check? Just to see if you can spot anything. What about the those of you who are good at tracking? Or those of you who have... What about those of you who have access to spells? I'll allow you guys to employ a litany of techniques if you wish.
27 on the survival.
Okay. Anybody else?
I have locate object, so if she's close, then, well, I guess we have to be close for it to work.
Right. So...
I'm going to upcast enhance ability at 3rd level, so that way I'll get advantage on any intelligence check, and I'll also give Baranor advantage on wisdom checks.
Okay. What's Baranor doing?
I don't know. Baranor's trying to figure out which way to go, but he's not doing it magically, so I'm not sure exactly how he would go about doing that.
So again, if you're making a survival or perception or any wisdom roll, you'll do it at advantage.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I could do that.
Okay. Is survival wisdom?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Give me a survival check. You definitely see foot traffic. It's, however, numerous. It looks like where you guys came from is perhaps a traversed passageway, but you do see a good number of it veering to the left and entering through an entrance to this large, passageway nest. And Baranor, you know what Maven's footprints look like.
Yes, of course.
So you notice, you basically rule out some of the other trails. Like this looks like a large creature. This looks like a bunch of little creatures and stuff like that. And you get the feeling like, all right, it seems like if her footprints went anywhere, it wasn't any of these. So maybe the left is the right way to go.
Yeah.
At least a place to start. So Koza, what are you said you're going to use locate object to find Maven. What does that mean?
You could use it to find something that's on her person, maybe.
Yeah, if we
use fire resistance.
Like her staff.
Or her whipping stick, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what level is that? Do you want to burn a spell for that one right now? See what happens? Maybe she's behind the bushes.
I would suggest wait on that for right now.
Yeah, because I don't want to burn a spell slot and then just be like, oh, well, guess we still don't know where she is.
Yeah. So you enter into the passageway, and at this moment, Reaper, you're sort of able to equalize the unpleasantness associated with being here. You're not sure if you're getting used to it or if it's lessened, but it doesn't feel like it's lessened. It just feels like, you sit with something sharp at the back of your neck for long enough and it doesn't hurt as much, but it's still annoying and it's still there.
I gotcha.
And that's about the time that you guys encounter your first denizen of the Hells. Whipping between two buildings is a group of small, ape-like flying creatures. They whizzed between the alleys. That right now seems like it's sort of an amalgamation of a maze and a neighborhood. Like the buildings here are husks of their former selves and just dripping with dust and licked with fire on their roofs. And you see this gang of red-skinned, simian-like horned creatures that fly like a tiny little flock between buildings. One of them trails behind and catches sight of you. You see this little monkey creature, and he has little thin horns. He has a scorpion-like tail, and he just kind of hovers for a few seconds. Does anybody do anything? You're about 30 feet away. Does anybody do anything in this moment as it definitely sees you? It doesn't react yet.
I'm just quietly under my cowl. I have grasped onto Anthem's edge, and I'm just trying to stay as still and not draw as much attention as I already have.
Okay. Anybody else?
I am of the opinion that you make it till you make it, and so you pretend like you are meant to be there.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Who are you? Who am I? Who are you?
Yeah. So it's going to hover there, and it just kind of gives you this dumb, daffy look, and just kind of goes, it kind of just goes, and cackles a little, and continues flying through the buildings in the direction that it was going. And as you kind of take a moment and breathe out, which isn't comfortable because you're breathing out ash air, you encounter another small group of bipedal humanoid creatures. They're short. They're about maybe 3 or 4 feet tall, and they're hopping on their legs like little tiny kangaroos, but they're skittering. And they have long, pointed horns coming out of the top of their head, and they're rather unpleasant. And they just kind of catch sight of you and mutter to each other like, and they just keep walking along. It seems that your appearance, while noteworthy, isn't at the moment interesting enough for any of these creatures to stop and become distracted by you. So I need you guys to make, we can do 2, and we'll take the higher of the 2, survival checks. And I also need an investigation check from somebody as you are navigating these corridors.
You said survival check from all of us?
No, I'll take 2 survival checks from 2 people. We'll take the higher of the 2. And yeah,
investigation's gonna be a 30 for me.
Okay. Yeah, with those goggles, you almost have this shaft of billowing white smoke in front of you that it seems that only you can see, and it just kind of phases in and out of reality. You're pretty sure it's an effect of the goggles, and it's almost kind of intuitive as to trying to point you in the right direction. It doesn't always materialize, but it seems like when things are slow and there's not tensions are no longer high, that this effect kind of intensifies slightly. Kind of keeps you steering. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, survival 22.
Okay. So survival went pretty well. Everybody got 22, it looks like. And the path forward seems to be pointing you towards one of the collections of larger, taller, scarred buildings in the distance. But it's pretty far. It looks like it's almost half a mile away. And there is an ocean of this labyrinthian passageways between you. At some point, you feel you've been traveling now for a few hours. And it feels like here, you get tired quicker than you usually do. You feel like you all weigh more, too. Like gravity is trying to pull you to your knees. At every step you take through these decrepit streets, it feels like you're carrying 100 pounds of steel on your back. You all at this moment, you've been going for about between 4 and 5 hours. You start to feel your legs grow tired, your arms grow heavy, your eyes get creaky. You're at the point now, and it's, as far as you know, only been maybe to the midday point. You feel like you're on the precipice of a point of exhaustion.
Do we stop and take a break?
Yeah, like I can use my pendant to create the magnificent mansion, and we can go in there.
To create the what?
Yeah, we've got the I've got the magnificent mansion. One use of that per day, effectively, so we could do that. And the entrance, I think you can make it invisible once you're inside. I think that's part of the spell. So
yeah, yep, that's right.
While it's closed, it's invisible. So if we want to rest, we do have an option to rest in a way that it's going to be invisible. So should be safe.
Mm-hmm. Is that everybody else's consensus?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Well, I'll save a proper description of your magnificent mansion for a different time when you can actually relax and enjoy it. For now, between 2 buildings around a corner, you cast this into a wall and find relatively comfortable, a relatively comfortable abode on the inside, where you spend an entire 8-hour rest. You all eventually fall asleep. Even trying to just think of just maybe a short rest, you just fall asleep. And you awaken to the spell ending.
It
you
lasts
get popped out of it.
24 hours, I think. So we don't get...
Yes, that's correct.
We get popped out of it, or
no, you're right.
happening to make it.
No. No, you would, but you awaken after that 8-hour period and exit it and continue on your journey. This repeats for 2 days. Trudging through the streets, encountering denizens. Some of them brush by you with a disdain in their sneering faces. Some of them almost cow-like with angry, devilish, demonic faces. Others have pointed noses, red skin, black skin, glowing eyes, curled horns. A ragtag community of people living down here. And none of them seem to pay you any real mind. Occasionally, you grasp someone who makes a motion towards you, but the fact that there are 6 of you, it makes it difficult for anyone here to really feel they can challenge these newcomers. Trudging through the streets, dipping through alleys this way, that way, eventually you make your way, and having to stop after just a few hours of walking these streets and rest again and again, you eventually make your way to the middle of this city with these tall towers. You definitely feel like this is sort of the center of this area, and you stand on its edges right now.
During that rest there in the magnificent mansion, we can apply a long rest, right?
Absolutely. Everybody is fully rested. You are entering, though, the end of a period of time that you would need to probably rest again soon, just not right now. But yes, you're all fully rested, probably 3 times over.
Cool.
Yeah, and at this moment, the effect of your goggles is a little more nebulous. The way forward is a little more muddled. There are different branching possibilities that might be the right way to go. Baranor, you have long since lost any semblance of tracking. The sandstone streets do not offer very much in terms of footprints, and your senses are a little freaking dulled anyway, just for how long you guys have been here already. So you're kind of back to square one, but you're facing the middle of this city. What do you guys wish to do from here?
Any thoughts from the group?
We ask around. Do we or do we keep trying to track her, or what?
Yeah, there's no tracking her right now.
Yeah. So, do we ask around about this person? It seems it could be a little.
I'll try ascending spelling in. Give her the same message.
Mm-hmm. Well, at this moment, you don't get a response back.
Okay. Did the delivery fail?
No. As a matter of fact, being that you have recently sent a sending spell that failed, this doesn't feel like that. So you feel like it hit whoever it was going for. You just don't get a message back.
Okay.
Other than the sound of quiet. That's all you get.
Okay.
Sounded like her, but a whisper. Yep.
Okay, well. Okay, I'll tell the others that, guys, I got something, but all I got was, and it sounded like Maven, so she's alive, but all I got was just shush, wait.
Iona is going to float the possibility that maybe there's something in the hells that has a way to tap into sending stone messages or things that are being sent to Maven, and Maven might be trying to warn us.
I mean, it's entirely possible. Maybe we should just try to lay low here in this city for a couple of days. Just try to pick up just see if we can just keep our ear to the ground, pick up any intel.
I mean, maybe some of us have the ability to, disguise ourselves as tieflings or stuff like that and speak the language around here. Maybe they can dig up something while the rest of us lay low.
Yeah.
I don't speak the language.
Yeah, who speaks Infernal?
I can for an hour. I mean, I can cast tongues on somebody else, but like I said, it only works for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how long a conversation you're going to need.
Well, if we're going up to people and asking them, trying to get information, then probably a while.
Yeah.
What if, somebody comprehend languages, and then we just listen to see if we can find any whisperings, and then we have somebody be able to, speak the language and get the information? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've got comprehend languages too, but again, it only lasts for an hour.
Yeah.
But it's a ritual spell.
Yeah.
It takes an hour to cast. No, wait a minute. No, it's a duration. It really doesn't tell me how long the ritual is.
I think rituals are 10 minutes.
Okay. So I got that, but I mean, and it's only targeted to self. But I'm the one that, between me and Grimace over here.
Is that a shot at Koza?
Two of us pick out the words. We're going to have the hardest time blending in.
I also have comprehend languages.
Could we have any aerial reconnaissance as well?
I don't know how well being as familiar would blend in this situation.
I could transform into something.
It's true. Have we seen any flying creatures that Koza might be able to turn into and not be like an owl?
Hang on.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
You've seen big bats.
Okay.
You've seen imps
flying overhead, going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, you've seen all manner of flying creatures, none of which he can turn into. There are beasts in the hells, but not that many. Beasts are more of a material plane kind of thing.
Doesn't Yuno's familiar have the ability to go invisible or something like that?
Sure, I think. Yeah, that thing's real useful sometimes.
Yeah, so I'll summon my familiar out and have him go 500 feet. Kind of tell us what he sees and see if there's...
That's a raven, right?
Something we can direct towards. What?
That's a raven, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the raven gets about, you said 500 feet above you?
Yep.
And communicates with you once little guy gets up there, and communicates with you that there is just a lot of this maze material all in all directions, but there's also foot traffic within the center city area. And just as the raven starts to describe a large four-legged beast, it snaps silent and goes out, and you look up and you notice that a larger winged creature just tore your familiar in half.
Eated it.
Goody.
Sorry. And I do mean killed it.
Well, shitballs.
All right. So, how about you? How about anybody else? Koza, you said you wanted to do something earlier?
Yeah.
I forget what you said.
Do we feel like try and locate object now?
Sure.
Because I
think we're going to throw anything on the wall and see what sticks time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then I'm going to cast I'm going to cast locate object, then turn into an owl and just fly up.
How long does locate object last, and what's its range?
10 minutes, and if I sense the object's location within 1,000 feet, it sends out a ping.
Okay, so how high are you going?
We'll say 100.
Okay, and what are you turning into? You
I guess an owl. I can't turn into like a bat or something.
Okay, because I'm cool, I'll ask you what color this owl is, because I feel like you probably could do that.
Yeah, and we'll make him fucking deep red.
Deep red owl.
Well, that's cool because I'm going to cast invisibility on him.
It looks so cool
All
for
right.
like 45 seconds.
Yeah. All right, so where are you going? And if you imagine a jawbreaker cut in half, you're on the outer edge of the middle layer. Which direction are you going, and how quick, and all that? Give it to me. Give it all to me, because this spell is very specific.
Yeah, I guess I'll sort of do a perimeter run. Or how big is this? Is it way too big to do a perimeter run?
The center of the city, yeah, it's like a mile across. Like you'd have to I don't know. If you wanted to get the whole thing, it would take pretty much that 10 minutes just to fly around. But I'd say within 10 minutes you can cover that area,
Yeah.
And you're invisible, so you don't have to worry about any flying creatures. Just don't hit anything.
I guess I could just take off towards the center of the city.
Yeah. Oh, Steph, that's perfect. That's just what I was thinking of, too. She just posted a red-horned owl.
That is the red morph eastern screech owl.
That's a mouthful.
Google is great.
Speaking of mouthful, Koza's owl invisibly flies through and around the tall structures of this city center. As you do so invisibly, you are able to miss and dodge in between flocks of imps that scale the sides of buildings and dart off, and looks like maybe they're chasing something smaller than them to eat. A rather large winged creature, humanoid in appearance, carries a long spear covered in spines and kind of like almost like a fleshy beak at the end of its face. Just kind of flops its wings around lazily, flying around, and you kind of avoid it as well. And that's when you feel a pulse. You feel a pulse again. It instinctively pulls you towards the center of the city, and you turn and look, and you can see a tall cathedral with a symbol at the top of this cracked, leaning cathedral. It's a skull encased in blood.
Okay.
Yeah, the closer you get to the cathedral, the stronger that pulsing sensation.
Okay. Is that the skull from Maven's fire stick?
No. Doesn't look similar. Her fire stick has a little skull with like little tiny spikes on the top of it. Like not quite a crown, but kind of like Darth Maul a little bit. That's what her fire stick skull looks like. This is just a humanoid skull with droplets of blood swirling around it. But it's all made of like black metal.
Is it like ball?
Maker, well, I'll answer that once Koza comes back to the group, because you don't know that's there yet.
I'm gonna come back, because it's not Maven's thing.
Huh?
Then I'll make my way back, because I only have...
Yeah, you felt a pull on your locate object somewhere inside that temple.
Okay.
And the further away you get from it, the weaker that feeling gets, until it goes out completely.
All right. Well, I'll relay that when I get back to the group.
All right. Iona, make a religion check.
Okay. I'm gonna guidance myself also.
Mm-hmm. You've never heard of that symbol before. Sounds scary. The temple that he's talking about, you can all kind of see from where you're standing. It's not that far away. It's maybe a quarter of a mile into the city center.
Okay. During the time of the reconnaissance, I'm going to go ahead and, I'm assuming we're kind of separate, I'm going to go ahead and cast Enhance Ability on myself again for advantage on intelligence checks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try, can I make a roll, either religion, arcana, history, anything?
About? What are you trying to determine?
The temple that was just described.
Oh, yeah. You can make a religion check. Sure. Yeah.
22.
I mean, when you were reading the books about religion in Azia's Pyramid, this is a very prominent evil-aligned religion, followers of Baal. It's a god of murder, of bloodshed, of just relishing in evil. Its followers are known to be loners because they tend to kill each other for jockeying for position within their ranks. And Baal doesn't require gold or any kind of material offerings, other than if you want to worship him, go kill somebody. He loves people that kill. And it's very fitting that a temple of Baal exists in the hells.
I kind of muttered like quietly, like amongst Baranor and Yunos, like, I wonder if we qualify.
You haven't not killed people.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know if we've really murdered anybody, but we've definitely brought some people to, have a chat with their creator.
Yeah. One-way tickets, Deadville.
Yeah, now that you say Baal, Iona's going to sort of think and say that actually she's not come across the symbol, but she has heard the name, because in some of the older Talentar texts, it floats the idea that at one point Pelona might have served Baal, but it's never been confirmed if she actually ever did, or if she definitely doesn't now, but she herself is not certain, because this is an old hypothetical piece of religious lore. but she's flagging that as something which might complicate things, but she herself doesn't know, because this is like a few lines in a very old book.
Yep. Yeah. A bastion, a sanctuary of murder and subterfuge and evil. Sounds like the perfect place to find your old friend.
So, Detroit.
I think your first question in your own head is, what the hell is she doing here?
Or what the hell is that object doing there?
Yeah. So, what do you wish to do from here? It's within walking distance.
Let's just walk our way over that way.
Okay. You walk your way over that way. There's actually surprisingly little foot traffic. You would have figured that being the city center, it would be the hub of civilization, but it's actually the opposite. There are scampering rat-like creatures that flit in and out of the alleyways, and there are larger, devilish figures that kind of walk with an entourage from one end of the road, kind of far away from you. But you do find yourself within viewing distance of the Temple of Baal's entrance. And mind you, all of these large buildings, they're crumbling. None of them are in pristine condition. Even Baal's temple, a spire of black obsidian, twisted and cracked and fragmented and broken, dripping chunks of stone on the ground at its foundations. And then you hear something. You hear snarling, distant from where you are, perhaps near the entrance. You hear crashing. You hear flapping of wings. You hear shouting. The closer you get, the louder it gets. And then you hear what sounds like something in Infernal shouted at something else. And then you hear something you hoped you wouldn't have to hear. You hear a grunt, like someone impacted on the ground and is reacting. It's feminine, elvish. And then you hear a scrambling and a running away deeper into the building. What do you do?
We charge in, don't we?
Yeah, pretty much.
Go to investigate the sound.
Yeah, investigate
you crush
stealth.
Yeah. Well, let's get a stealth check from everybody then.
Let's do some pass without a trace here.
Yeah, everybody add 10.
Haven't used that in a while.
It's like your favorite group.
While he's casting pass without trace, I'm going to cast tongues.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have my advantage on stealth rolls anymore.
Well, tongues, the first thing you get from tongues is you hear a snarling voice inside echoing off the citadel walls. She's only one. And you hear another one, get her. And that's when all of you see this scene erupting in the center of this huge, tall cathedral inner sanctum. You see a number of creatures, some winged, some not, some swinging chains with hooks at the end of them at a central figure. This central figure, hooded, wielding a long, sharpened stick with a red skull impaled upon the end of it, does a double backflip at the back of this sanctum and spins around and gestures to these creatures in a way of saying, come and get it. And what you see, wait 1 second, is, I got it, this. The hooded creature with what looks like a torn blue bat-like wing on their back, a skull face beneath a hood, engages these flying devilish creatures that harass her. And that is where we are going to have everyone jump to the map and roll some initiative. So first things first, let me get everybody on the map.
Where do we need to be?
You need to be, so York, the Outlander, needs to be right up near the top altar. And if you guys are looking at this cathedral, all of those pews, any square that contains those pews is difficult terrain. And these golden bars that look like they connect these pods of some kind, those are like arches. So they're high in the air. They're about 10 feet in the air. And they look perchable, like you could perch on them. So let's see here. Okay, Bogey, you definitely need to be brought on the map.
Yeah.
And everybody else is going to be surrounding this creature, the Outlander. And I'm going to change everybody's name to reflect. Okay, so your name should be not See, I don't know why it does that. It doesn't save it, but that's okay because we're playing now. You're Bogey. You're okay, cool. You're Valis. Let's see who else. Where's Noah? Are you able to put yours out?
Put my mini down. Don't know why it gives me battle maps.
You can't. You said okay. There's I don't know. Ellie, did you put yours on yet?
1 second. It was getting weird with my token, so I'm going again. Let's see.
That's mine.
That looks better.
Well, Noah, there's your token. Go ahead and change your name. That's Ken. Ken is Valis, correct?
No, that's me.
Okay. You're not. You're a chain devil. He's a bone devil. Gotcha. Okay. Bogey, what's your guy's name?
My character's name is, I have it here, Torzas.
Torzas? He did that on purpose, didn't you?
Torzas.
All right, I'm going to give everybody a turn. I don't see anybody rolling initiative because you can't.
Yeah.
Because this does not have a sheet.
I'm going to 1 second. I'm going to see if I can at least.
It's all right. I got you. I got a turn up there for you.
Roll initiative. I just can't select my character.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so this is Bogey's character. So I'm going to make you face the other direction because that's how different people look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's everybody.
I can't even.
Ken, what's your little guy's name?
Can't even change my initiative.
Me neither.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No.
No, they're definitely not in the hells.
No, this is called the DM's hell.
I know.
Okay. Noah, what is your initiative?
16.
16.
Steph, we
Valis, what is your initiative?
We can see you
What's
measuring.
up?
We can see you measuring.
Well, I'm just measuring stuff. Get over it. Look at that. Woo! Get over yourself.
Valis, what is your initiative?
I got it.
You did. Okay. Noah, what did you say yours was? I don't know why I didn't keep it. 22?
No, 16.
16. There. Okay. Whew.
Mine's 23.
Good to know. All right. Ken, your bone devil is first, but you're going to actually be way up here, and everybody else is going to be up here. So I'll move you if you can't move yourself. Yeah, I'll put you back here there, Ellie. All right.
Yeah.
All of you, you know your motivation. You've been sent here to stop this outlander, this stranger in these lands who recently slayed a important figure in this community. And you've been sent here by your archfiend boss to take care of it. Ken, your bone devil is first.
Well, and I'm going to rush right in because I'm dumb as all hell. And I'm going to take 2 swipes with my claws.
Mm-hmm.
He says the bone devil is dumb as all hell because it's less intelligent than you know.
Only less. Only slightly.
Yeah. Like intelligence of 13 is not anything to scoff at.
Who in the hell would charge into battle head on like that? It's just dumb.
First one's going to be a 9. Second one's a little better. That's a nat 20 for a total of 28 to hit. Alright, so only 1 hit, so that's going to be 13 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my third attack, Infernal Sting. That's going to be a 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
That's going to be 16 plus... So 20 points of piercing damage and 18 points of poison damage. And you are poisoned until the start of your next turn.
Okay. What was that? 28. Okie doke. Gotcha.
All right. Does that end your turn, Ken?
Yep.
All right. Torzas. Torzas.
I'm going to move to right here.
Right her.
I can't actually move my character, so.
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry.
Wrong one, I think.
Oh, is that Ken? That was Corey. You're the right-facing one. Bink. There you go.
Yes. Does the Bone Devil count as ally?
Yeah.
Okay. This is not going to be fun. All right. Let's see if this actually works. I do.
So confident and then not.
Okay. So I'm guessing a 22 doesn't hit you.
It does.
Oh,
I don't know why you would. Yeah.
Huh?
I said, I don't know why you would think it would.
Oh, you're usually like really high AC in just a t-shirt, so.
I am. It's still high. I don't have any armor on it. My AC is fine. Thank you.
Okay. So you take 15 damage from that attack, and you have the grappled condition, as well as the restrained condition.
Can I do deflect attack on that, Mr. D?
Well, is it a projectile?
It doesn't have
How does
to
deflect
be. It's the same thing. It deflects any attack, not just missile.
Yeah. Absolutely you can.
So how many points of damage was that?
15.
Bitchin'. I deflect all of it, and then I'm going to redirect the attack back at you.
Okay.
And I need you to make a dexterity check for me.
A check or a save?
Either way, I think I failed.
Save. It's safe.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dex save, I believe. You roll a 4?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
I rolled a 2.
Okay, so you're going to take 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 5 is 23. You'll take 23 points of damage.
Okay.
But you're still grappled and restrained, though.
I don't think so, because she deflected it. So
I deflected the attack. It doesn't. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, she just like Kill Bill style, like redirected all those chains right back at you and fish hooked you in the mouth.
That's nice. Second attack.
Fuck off.
14 misses, but that was not. I'll have to do this again because of advantage. 15 also misses. Okay.
Yes.
And then I can do Conjure Infernal Chain.
Cool.
So because you're not restrained, this isn't as good. So you'll do a DC 15 dex save. Should be easy for you.
Yes, it should. 22.
Okay, that passes. Okay, that's my turn.
All right. Dancer, your chain devil, your bone devil is next.
Yeah, and for the sake of having easy different tokens, so up on the hovering slightly above this table in the temple is this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the pale dancer, and it moves as if every joint in its body is double jointed.
Ew.
It is somehow always just every movement seems like it's dancing, and it seems like it is having the absolute time of its life. So it is going to move closer and very delicately land, but without ceasing movement. It's still moving, it's still turning, it's clad in this yellow cloth torn, but there's no visible flesh underneath it. And as it's spinning, pieces of the cloth seem to lash out, and it makes 2 attacks with this cloth, which is somehow sharp, as if it's razored.
Delicious.
So either of those hit.
The first number, not the second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one of them does.
Okay. So you're going to take some slashing, and then it's got this white mask on, but something darts out from underneath the bottom of the mask, a long white jointed stinger that again comes right at you.
That definitely.
And that will be 15 piercing, and I think on a bone devil you do a con save. Yeah, DC 14 con saving throw or become poisoned.
Can you be poisoned, Maven?
I can shake off the poisoned condition on my turn.
Gotcha.
But I can be poisoned.
Yeah, though it seems to be that you get the poison damage no matter what, based on what I'm reading. It's just piercing damage plus poison damage, and then you can do a con save to see if you're poisoned. So that is still 22 poison damage as well.
Okay. And then con save.
Aren't you already poisoned from...
I am, and I rolled a 17, so...
Okay. Yeah, I'd still say you're still poisoned, but it is...
Yeah, I'm not double
poisoned.
I think
you get a chance.
You're not on double probation.
Yeah. And then the pale dancer, because it doesn't have all that much in terms of self-preservation, is just going to stand there, but still somehow turning. It is able to move in a way that it's always looking at you, even though its body is effectively doing pirouettes.
Creepy.
And that's the end of my turn.
Creepy is a good way to put that.
All right, Outlander, it is your turn. You are semi-surrounded.
I want to use my reaction. My reaction, unnerving gaze. So I am going to don the mask.
Which one are you?
Maven.
He's down here.
That one. Okay.
Because you can still see, you can see me. I'm going to look like you did when you were turned in the deep depths of Shekis's grasp.
Fun. Lovely.
So now you have to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom. Okay.
Or else you're scared.
19! Thank fuck.
All right, so you're able to shrug it off, and you're immune to my unnerving gaze for the next 24 hours.
Love that. Okay. So I'm going to spend a focus point. I'm going to do the patient defense, I can't remember which one it is. One of them allows me to take the disengage action as a bonus action. And then I'm going to run to right about there. And then for my first attack, I'm going to
So just so you know, from here to there is difficult terrain. So you have to spend 10 feet per 5.
From where to where? Sorry, I missed it.
From this square, because it's got a pew in it, to where you're at. So 20 feet is actually 10 feet.
Okay, so it was 40 total.
Which I'm
5 more for these. Mm-hmm. I'm still fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
And then things are in a different place than used to.
Did you escape from their melee?
Yeah. Okay. I used disengage. Don't worry.
Disengage.
And then I'm going to use a searing sunburst, and I'm going to center it up there on Dancer. Is that what her name is? So I'll be out of it, but it gets everybody else. And everybody needs to make a DC 16 con save.
What's the radius? You said you're getting everybody?
Yeah, it's a 20-foot radius, so it'll be 40 feet if I center it there.
I gotcha. Okay, everybody on the board, make yourselves... Yeah, there you go.
What are we doing?
Con save.
Okay.
Con save.
Sorry, a crazy person was yammering in front of the house. 15.
Need one from Noah and Ellie as well.
I've made one. I got a 15.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That should have been an 18, actually. Sorry. I clicked the wrong button.
Okay.
Oh, Noah got a 2.
Total of 3.
Noah fails 16. Anybody that got less than 16 fails. How about that? That's easier for me to figure out. And it'll be 19 points of radiant damage.
What was fail?
16.
So past was half, you said?
Yeah, I believe. Let me read to make sure. It doesn't say that you take half, so.
Save or suck?
Yep, save or suck.
That's radiant, right?
Yes, 19 points of radiant damage.
I wonder if that does anything different to a fiend.
Like, most of us are, well, some are immune,
my stat block for me doesn't say anything about radiant damage, whether you're vulnerable or not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, what I've got is that I get advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects, but my advantage still only got me 15, so it doesn't say anything about taking more stuff from Radiant.
No, but a Bone Devil has magic resistance.
Yeah, that's what I went with, my advantage.
Yeah, Green Devils do too, and that just means we have advantage on the saving rolls.
Yeah, okay. Okie dokie.
And then on my second one, for my second attack, perfect. Whoever this person is down here in the corner, I'm going to fire a radiant sunbolt at them. That
would be Noah's character. What did you say your name was? Amphistophenes?
Oh my god.
Amphistophenes.
It's a dirty
from
20.
Anopheles from Cats?
Amphistophenes. He's a very old spined devil.
Does a 20 hit?
Yes, it does.
You take 9 points.
9.
Radiant damage? Yes, radiant damage.
Is that doubled or is that total?
It's a dirty 20.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
And then that's my turn.
As you fire off this sunbolt at this spined devil carrying, which, by the way, you are like 20 feet in the air, just where you are, because you have wings and stuff. You all hear this crash of glass through a window here, and you see 3 imp creatures that you're all very familiar with. You've worked with imps before, and they all make a beeline towards the Outlander. And just as these 3 imps look like they're going to just tackle her, you hear another crash through a window on the opposite side of the room, and there is a flash of a bolt of fiery energy, like a meteor, crashing through the room and impacting on these imps and rustling them to the ground. And you just see this ball of fire with what looks like scaled limbs thrashing about until the fire goes out, and the imp, 2 of the imps lay dead at the feet of a creature holding the 3rd imp in its mouth. You all see this.
Sundance.
He's my baby boy. He's so small.
He got big.
He's a tiny baby. Stop it.
Look, I understand he'll always be a puppy to you, but he got big.
Let's put Sundancer on the map, and he is a large creature. So he's right next to Mama, and he just gobbles up that last imp in his mouth, and we'll go ahead and give him a turn.
Yay.
And I'll go ahead and roll for him.
That would be fabulous.
Actually, you know what? He's going to go the
stats for him. So.
Yeah, he's going to go the same time you do.
Okay.
So we'll make him an 18. So he has a +10. So if you want to jot this down real quick, he gets 2
have a pen.
He gets 2 attacks, or I'll write it on the chat. I'll put it in the chat for you. 2 attacks. Claw is +10, and you can go ahead and act for him.
Okay.
Right now as we go. Okay, there's that. He has a bite. It's the same thing. It's a +10, and that should do for now. It should sate you. That's all he gets, though. Just 2 attacks, and then he's got 90 feet of movement.
Okay, perfect. Lovely. That would be 30 feet to get over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the wrong one. Nope, that's still the wrong one. I can't move him.
Really? Okay, hold on. Maybe I didn't give you access.
I have a character sheet, but
yeah, it says you should be holding. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Roll20 today, guys, but for some reason it's almost like I wonder if you reset Roll20 if it would work.
I literally restarted my entire computer and it didn't work. So
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand why you have the same permission as you do with Maven. I don't understand why you can't move Sundancer, but that's okay. Just point wherever you want him. Can you move this new little guy that you put on there?
Yeah, I can move the little one.
Okay. All right. I'll make him big.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay. So he gets a frightful presence. So that means everybody needs to roll a wisdom saving throw that's within 60 feet of him, which should be everybody.
What'd you say, wisdom?
Yes, he is a little scary to you guys. At least looks like you'd rather not tangle with him.
Yeah, but
all right.
Clicking on the wrong one. It should be 21.
That's a DC 16. So it looks like 3 of you. Noah, we need a wisdom save for your spine devil. But not Ken, Dancer, Valas, you guys are afraid of this thing, so you can't move towards it. And that goes for you too, Amphistophanes. You scared.
And he will take 1 claw attack. 15. Does 15 hit?
Yes, it does.
Spine devils have very good AC.
Yep.
So that'll be +5 would be 12. 12 points of damage.
So the spine devil is also airborne. He's about 20 feet in the air. So if you want to hit him, you're going to have Sundancer go aloft, which he can do now. He can hover.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys all see these jets of fire erupt from behind his arms, and he hovers in the air and swipes at him. Nice.
That'd be 12 points of damage.
Okay.
Ow.
I'm guessing 23 also hits.
Yes, it does.
And then 3 + 5 is 8, so 8 more points of damage.
Not doing too good, are you, Mr. Devil?
No.
But that ends his turn. It is your turn.
He's going to move over there.
Yeah, which would give you an attack of opportunity. I think it would just be an advantage or a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Because you're frightened of him. You're like, hey, get away. But then it's your turn.
Vicious.
Yeah. So I'll roll my attack of opportunity. Does a 10 hit?
I would imagine that, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna use my actual attack.
Okay.
And
he has an AC of 15.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a tail spine attack.
On who? You're 20 feet in the air and by yourself.
On Sundancer.
He moved away.
You can't move towards him. You're afraid of him.
It's a ranged attack.
Oh.
I shoot spines at him.
Oh. Yeah. Spine devil, duh.
So that's a 21 to hit.
That does hit his AC.
All right. That's 1d4 piercing plus 1d6 fire damage. So that is 10 points total.
All right.
And then I think I get another attack. Oh, I make 2 with my tails. So I'm just going to do another one.
So, Maven, Sundancer has 150 hit points, just so you know.
Okay. 50 minus...
D4, plus D6.
He's a tanky boy.
He is a baby.
That's another 8 points of damage total.
Okay.
You're feeding that thing.
Imps.
Yeah.
So for 14, so 14 over the 2 attacks, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Sure. All right, that's my turn.
Alrighty. Do you want to move? You're free to do so.
I'll go... Oh, I can't move my mini for some reason.
Where do you want to go? Just point where you want to go.
Right there.
Boink. All right, Valas, the chained devil. You got a big, giant, angry Drake, fire Drake,
right
sitting next to you.
My grill. Okay. Let's see. So I'm going to start off with my chain attacks, 2 chain attacks. First one, 13 against Sundancer.
Miss.
Second one, 23.
That one hits.
So that is 2d6 plus 4 slashing, 10 points of slashing. If the target is large or smaller, it has the grappled condition.
Awesome.
And then it has the restrained condition until it frees itself from the grapple.
Yeah, he has a strength of 21.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Escape DC is 14.
So that's going to be a +5, and he's got proficiency in that one, in strength, so.
Okay.
Can he escape like right now, or does he wait till his turn, or how's that work?
Well, I would assume that that attack you made, he has to make a strength save against it, right?
Save against it, okay.
No.
Okay. No.
The chain,
I'm hearing conflicting reports.
Automatic grapple.
Devils, man.
Automatic grapple. Okay.
It's an automatic grapple for a target as large or smaller, and so is the restrained condition until the grapple ends.
All right, and then I'm going to conjure an infernal chain, fire off at Maven.
Fabulous.
That is a DC 15 Dex save.
Okay.
Would any of those attacks be a disadvantage?
Ooh, 15.
Because you were afraid.
Oh, you're right. That would have.
Sorry.
But the infernal chain, though, well, then that would have just been one. Then all of that would have just been one attack that missed.
Okay.
So I still got my second chain attack then.
Okay.
And I'll roll that. Both were 15, so missed that. And then the infernal chain is just there's no attack roll to it. It just conjures. And what was the DC 15 save you made?
I made a 15. I barely passed.
You made it at 15. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okie dokie. So that was that.
Yeah. Okay. So while all this is happening, the crown collectors are about maybe 60 feet away, maybe more, maybe like 60, 70 outside of a dash speed. But you see this happening as you are sort of tiptoeing through the entrance of this cathedral. You see this scene of violence unfold, and almost all of you way down the hallway catch sight of this creature being attacked. You all recognize in the distance, you can't quite make out details, but you recognize the fiery white and gold scaled fire drake of Sundancer next to a hooded figure holding Maven's fire stick. What do you all do?
Or what do I do?
Yeah. What do you all do?
All right. No, man, I am cloak off, Anthem's Edge drawn.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're all charging in.
Yeah.
Charging in, side by side, V formation. You burst through the door down here. So if you would kindly all place yourselves on the map at the bottom, which I'm assuming you guys can do that.
I don't think so.
If you can't move your own characters, I'm going to be so pissed.
I can probably move my character once it's on the map.
Koza, why don't you have? That's all right. I'll fix that between now and then. But you for some reason don't have a mini. So there's Koza, all the way at the extreme bottom of the screen, please.
Oh, very, very bottom.
Very, very. You guys haven't even gotten into the room yet.
Like the super bottom.
The bottom, super bottom.
The boiler room.
The power bottom.
Yeah. Okay, right there. Yeah, as you enter this scene, you see all of this unfold before you. And those of you familiar with this person recognize someone under that hood needs your help. They are being harassed. But that is where we're going to end the session and pick up next time.
Can I get Luna on there, by the way?
Yes, you can. Luna's in the hells. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Luna.
Why wouldn't
the
she?
boots are in the ring, so.
Which means they're in the hells too.
They're in the ring.
And the ring is in the hells.
Yes.
Yes, they're in a demi-plane.
Yeah.
That's in the hells.
They are hanging out.
Yeah. All right, folks. Whew. That was a roller coaster. We're going to start with one more round with you guys playing your devils. And then after that first round is over, I'll take over as the devils, and you guys can assume your characters, because by then you'll be able to enter the map. All right?
All right.
And we'll see about this infernal reunion.
Playing out of New Jersey for a little bit.
All right, folks, that was cool. Anybody got any conflicts? Obviously, let me know. But I'm looking at the... where's my calendar?
20th.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. The 20th of September. And we'll wrap up this fight and see what this person has been up to all this time. Why do they look so different? What's with these new digs, these new clothes? Guess you'd need them here, huh? So
Probably.
we'll find out, and we'll see you guys next time, aight?
Okey doke.
Bye.
Bye.